Here we go. Another Premier League Sunday, another Premier League match day for us to break down. Craig Forrest, thanks
How
for
you doing,
joining me,
buddy?
buddy. I'm good, man. What an exciting first 45 minutes for the neutral. Arsenal 2, Liverpool 1. Bukayo
Yeah.
Saka scoring just before the break. Build this as a match of title contenders versus preseason title contenders. Arsenal look legit, man.
Yeah, they really do. Well, I mean, whether they 14 points as it stands above Liverpool right now, which is quite phenomenal. They played really well. They've home form has been great. They conceded at home, but they've won 4 in a row this year so far at home, and I think 7 in a row going into last year. So, that's been better. They've got that look in their eyes that they are where Liverpool were a year ago, if you like.
Yeah,
They got that same. And then Klopp seemed to be struggling with the side. They talk about the 7-year thing. What a bunch of crap. I mean, this guy is a top quality manager. They get rid of managers after 4 or 5, 10 games sometimes. And here's a guy who stayed there for 7 years. There's a reason why he's done that at not only Liverpool, but also his last 2 clubs, including Dortmund.
Yeah. Now, look, they lose today. They finish this first half of the season in poor form, let's say. I don't know, 7th or 8th in the table. There's not actually people calling for Klopp to be fired. This is just Twitter nonsense, right?
Mm-hmm. I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so. Yeah, I mean, let's face it, he's not going anywhere.
No, nor should he be.
No,
but
exactly.
Halftime, again, Arsenal 1, Liverpool 2. I was surprised to see the first half possession stats because it didn't feel like it was as lopsided as it reads. 62% for Liverpool, 38% for Arsenal. But as we say a million times, it doesn't matter, how long you hold the ball. It's what you do with it. They only had 3 shots, and they put 2
And
in.
who's taking that the stats? Some guy that chatting up some girl in the back there, missing half the game.
Distracted.
You know what I mean? Like,
you think the person that does the possession stats is me? Because we're chatting on before the show, and I said to you, I'm like, why is it 5 minutes of stoppage time? Like,
there was a
how
bunch
many
of guys
injuries did I
down
miss?
for like.
Yeah, I guess I just didn't realize it clocked up to 5 in the first half is a lot. Like that happens in leagues where match fixing is a guarantee. We don't see 5 minutes of stoppage time that often, right?
No, but it definitely warranted it. Yeah.
You made a point about comparing Arsenal to Liverpool from, like you said, last season, but I'm getting like 2020 Arsenal vibes. Excuse me, Liverpool vibes from this Arsenal team.
Yeah.
Like before the pandemic, before the break, the way Liverpool were just flying, confident, no one could phase them. They went on such a good streak there for a while, unbeaten run.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Arsenal feel like to me right now.
Mm-hmm. It's exciting to see. It really is, because they've had years and years of just torture, those fans. So it's nice to see that they've got it right, and Arteta as well, because I mean, there was a time when they sort of stuck with him. He was trying to change things, and was he going to get it right? And this was a big year for him, and they're going to get a lot of like physical taxing, I guess we call it, on these players before the World Cup. Like these leagues aren't messing around. They want to win to World Cup. They're going to get every bit of
their money's
these
worth.
Guys leading into that World Cup.
1,000%.
Oh yeah, we're going to see injuries, and we saw Alphonso Davies even picking up an injury yesterday that was very unfortunate.
Yeah, so if you didn't see that update, Bayern Munich confirmed that it was a skull contusion that he suffered. There was concern that it was a concussion, maybe as well. But a skull contusion or a deep skull bruise means that'll keep him out of their squad for a little bit, though they didn't say how long. But 40, we're just 40-odd days here to the World Cup, buddy. It's worrisome for Canadian fans for sure.
Yeah, I think the medical staff for Canada will be making some calls as well to figure out exactly what it is. And to be honest, when they talked about concussion, when you're seeing it, and if you actually watch it very fast, in normal speed, you could see why. I mean, he's so fast, Alfonso, that he's almost so fast too fast for his own good, right? Because he comes around the side of him, and the player's only really trying to flick the ball. So I didn't think it was an overly like massive concussion, if you like.
Right.
But I was worried about his eye and his eye socket sort of around there. So yeah, they got to figure out. So a really bad concussion would keep him out potentially the World Cup, what he has now, I'm hopeful that he'll be okay.
Thinking ahead of the World Cup, though, and what this season will be like for Arsenal, there's a few players in their squad. The way that they're playing, they'll be playing a lot more World Cup minutes than they may have been expecting. Saliba is the standout one for me. God, that guy's good. Honestly, I feel like he's a new version of Virgil van Dijk. I know we're only in, still early October. It seems a lot to say that, but some of the ground that he covers, the way that he bodies guys, the way that he corrects himself and gets in positions. Even Luis Diaz, there was a play there after Nunez had scored, and Luis Diaz came running up the side, and he had quite a few feet on him. And Saliba just beeline to be in the right position and totally neutralize him and box him out, and just made it look so easy. You watch back on the replay, it didn't look like he was scrambling to get in that position. He knew his legs were longer. He knew he could get there, and he made the run perfectly.
Yeah, outstanding. Really, really good. Can't really fault many players or anybody on that Arsenal squad right now. They're just flying. Early goal, late goal in the first half. So I think Theo Walcott scored one quicker, I think in 2013, that ended at 1-0.
Oh, really? Scored it quicker than the 58 seconds that Martinelli scored to open this one?
Yeah, and that game finished 1-0, so glad that's not the case.
Some predictions here. Doug Simonite said he thought this would be a 3-1 game. Dave Starkey claims it's going to be 4-2.
4-2 for who?
4-2 for who? Dave Starkey. Are we just assuming you think Arsenal? Has he got a London bias here?
Yeah.
Alan Scholes says it's going to be a 3-3 final today.
Could be.
I don't know if Liverpool got it in them to find 2 more goals, to be honest. But did you know this is the highest scoring Premier League fixture ever?
I did not know that.
It's an average of 3.5 goals per match.
Wow.
Yeah, they tend to go over that. The last couple of years they've gone over that every time. I forget they said it in the commentary what couple of ones last year, but yeah, there's been a couple 4-4s with these two. Yeah,
good.
It's
good. I love it.
Throw it at them.
Seeing some big goals, but don't you feel, Brendan, that looking at the league and watching Man City again yesterday, I feel like they're just on a different level.
City,
yeah,
like
as good as Arsenal are. I mean, I don't know. I just think City are a different level.
I think though, over the course of the whole season, this is why I think that some people are still excited at the prospect of a title race. I think we all expect Arsenal to fall off or stumble. I mean, they did last season before finishing the season. It seemed like they were going to finish in the top 4. But City kind of go through some of those moments too, right? And, we keep saying and speculating what this World Cup will be like. Both of them are going to have a lot of players exhaust themselves at the World Cup. City is going to have every player at the World Cup, right?
True.
And not just the 11 regulars, although what is a regular in a Pep Guardiola squad, right? The 15 guys that are going to be starters or key players on their national teams. Arsenal's going to have a few of those guys, but Arsenal doesn't have the Champions League to come back to.
I was actually thinking about that a little bit too. And then as you're leading toward the World Cup, what is Pep saying to the team? What are all the managers saying to the actual team and players that have got one eye now, not getting injured, making the World Cup, playing right up to it a week before it? Do they start pulling out of challenges? Do they start taking a little bit of edge off? And like you say, potentially a couple of results go sideways just before the World Cup. I mean, you're not going to have that problem with Haaland, of course, because he's not going to the World Cup. But potentially that could be something.
Imagine if Boxing Day comes around, everyone's excited. City has had a key group of players go far in the tournament and come back to Boxing Day and Haaland's fat. Imagine it's like noticeably he's put on like 20 pounds. It's like,
yeah, I don't think he could, but I played with some guys that put on weight really, really quickly. And if they had a month in between, you would have to keep quite an eye on them. Or John Hartson came back. He was a stone overweight, which is 14 pounds for preseason after about 4 weeks off. So.
But it's got to be though, like, because your bodies that are like meticulously worked, I wouldn't say that tuned, but like regularly worked, your body gets used to processing at that level. But it's an abnormal metabolism for many of these people. Certainly anyone that grew up in England in the 60s or the 70s. they didn't grow up with like nutrition that would lead to a metabolism like that. Is my point. Whereas these players now, it'd be a little
The
different.
full fry up, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. So
Oh, I
when
could
they
use one of those right now.
so when they're not running 25K a week at training or whatever it is, and you turn that off for a week, I can see how the body completely flips the switch back the other way.
It's
to
all
your
genetics.
normal processing. Yeah.
Because I haven't done shit for 20 years, and I still pretty much the same weight as I was when I was playing.
I just
Had to cut down my eating and drinking and stuff, but
All right. Well, you've just keep eating those cans of beans out of the cupboard there, and I guess
hey, nothing wrong with
that's,
that, eh?
That's it. No, I'd like a full English too right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
Alan Scholes with a comment here on our YouTube chat. City will be tough to slow down this year for sure, but January will definitely tell the story with all those World Cup players being tired. Honestly, I think it's going to be the most unpredictable. As crazy as we thought August was, January probably up until Valentine's Day will be the same. You will not be able to predict anything. Palace will go and beat one of the big guys, top 4 teams. You'll see, maybe Arsenal fall flat on their face, just get embarrassed. I honestly think that that first few months in every league, but especially in the Prem, where it's been wild, and you've seen some shock results already.
Yeah,
The winter's just going to be nuts.
Yeah, no, it's a really good point. And I think we're just in that area where we've never been before. So we don't really know what's going to happen, but we do know there's going to be injuries, there's going to be fatigue, and there's going to be some surprise results. But yeah, but like I say, I mean, these got I think Man City and most of them have 12, 13 games left before.
Yeah, crazy.
It is crazy.
The players are just taking the pitch of the Emirates again, so we'll wrap this up. But looks like Joe Gomez is coming in, so Liverpool making one change. Trent out. Joe Gomez coming in for Trent.
He took a knock, so I think that could go either way with that.
I was going to say
knock or tactical, right?
Yeah, also taking plenty of knocks. Yeah,
yes, he is.
Yeah, at least maybe that's how Klopp looks at it though, and says, "Well, at least people will say that this was a physical reason and not necessarily tactical."
Shows you that your career is really a journey, isn't it? Because you go from he was the man, Trent Alexander, the man. Everybody was all over him. Now they're all over him for different reasons. So he'll get through it.
Well, Liverpool, more man bun, more bite. They've got Tsimikas out there he's got the tie up, and Darwin Nunez was
it's going to be great. It's going to be a good second half.
Yeah, Nunez's finish on that goal, honestly, that's as close to Haaland as you're going to get from anybody else. I think the sliding touch, like perfect timing, perfect finish. But yeah. They've kicked off. So, did you give your prediction, buddy? I said it would go 2-2.
Yeah, I'll say 3-3. I like that.
Or you like that?
You know what? 4-2.
4-2.
4-2 Arsenal.
There you go. You and Starkey aligned, buddy. I like
that.
Well,
I think so. I presume he's going Arsenal.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us, those of you watching on YouTube and Twitter, and join us again at full time at the end of this.